Hello, knife community, knife lovers, knife enthusiasts, interested viewers folder here. I want to do my lighting is not right. I want to do a follow up review on after a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I think it's been, of carrying the AD10. Just wanted to mention a few things. This is going to be a really quick video. Yeah, so let's just get into it. This is not a full review. This is just a okay, I never had this knife before. Now I'm carrying it. Now this is what I noticed. Let's talk about the detent first. All triad locks, I believe, even back locks, have ridiculously good detent. And good, I mean by where it where it pulls into the knife. So let's see where this is. We go, and it's right there. Yeah, really far out, pulls in really nice. And when you separate the blade from its body, from its handle, the detent is just excellent. It's I think it's just inherently ideal with the with backlocks. Just the way it feels going out. It's definitely not too much, but it definitely has a safe feeling about it, that it's not gonna just just fly out. And the action is great. The action itself. So that detent along with the action feels very solid. So that's one thing. Two, I don't know if you can still see this little cut I have right here. Well, this thing is like a guillotine. I mean, obviously, when you're opening and closing this thing one-handed, you have to be careful. And listen, anyone in the knife community, we all play with knives and handle knives. You are going to sustain a cut. I think I just almost sustained another one. You're going to sustain some type of cut. You got to be as safe as possible. But when closing this knife one-handed, when you deploy it one-handed, you have to really make sure that this front finger is as far up on the finger groove as possible. Because when it's far up like that, it's going to hit the flat spot in the tang and stop it and prevent you from getting cut. If you close this knife and your finger is down here somewhere in the path of the blade, it's extremely dangerous and you will get cut. So that's just a reminder to anyone dealing with AD10. I mean, the slow roll and the two-handed closing is by far the safest way to operate these knives. But when we've handled knives for a while, and we get very used to them and very accustomed to them, we tend to anybody can get lax for a minute. So I'm just reminding everybody not to. Yeah, so that's the detent, the action, the closing. I really wanted to just touch base with that. Also, I wanted to point out another thing. The centering of this blade is absolutely excellent. I mean, it is really good. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a knife more centered. I mean, once it's centered, it's centered. So that's what it is. But if you look at the aluminum, the liners, right, that the G10 sits on here, and look at how close the blade is, the blade stock itself, how thick the blade stock is, and then the actual size of the channel in which the blade sits. I mean, sheesh, cold steel, really? Like, they really got the tolerances amazing on this knife. Because look at how close. I don't think there's any room. Can I slide a piece of paper even in here? Well, I can. Okay. Not that crazy, right? So you can actually slide a piece of paper in there. But barely. I mean, it's right there. It is right there. That's pretty amazing. I didn't really notice that when I did, when I really, when you time to really look at these knives and really appreciate it, you notice stuff like that. But that is an amazing, the blade stock sitting in between the channel of the knife is, I mean, it's very close. It almost looks like it's touching, but it's not. So I thought that that was also pretty incredible. And then also, a few other things I just want to address really quick. This is definitely a one pocket, an empty pocket tool. Yeah, don't put this in a pocket with stuff. This is a big knife. Make no mistake about it. It's big, it's heavy, it's stout, it's bulky. But yeah, it's got its own pocket. So if you can't afford to have its own pocket, then maybe this is not something you should be carrying on that given day, or maybe it's just not for you. But it definitely needs its own pocket. The clip obviously is not a deep carry clip, but I'll tell you one thing, it does, even though it needs its own pocket, it sits really well in your pocket. Like it doesn't feel, you don't feel the bulk. The width of this clip and the way it sits, it takes away the bulk of the knife and it sits right down in your pocket and it feels fine. It really does. So for a big knife, it sits very nice. And the last thing I would just like to, and I think I did mention this in my initial review, but I just want to really mention it again. This G10 is absolutely excellent. It really is. I congratulate Cold Steel on this because the G10, the quality of this G10, the texture, the way it looks, as far as G10 goes, this is at the top of the food chain. Definitely. It's as good as any other really good G10 that you've seen on a knife out there. I really feel like this G10 is that good. It can compete with it can definitely compete with other knives and manufacturers. Okay, so that's all I got. Thanks.